The Chargers' 2020 season was one of the most interesting of any teams last year. The situation with Tyrod leading out to the breakout party of Justin Herbert to have a historic rookie season, but in the end they did finish with a mediocre 7-9 record. However, if just a few plays were different, it could have been a completely different story. They barely lost to the Chiefs in overtime. Who can forget that devastating loss to the Raiders on the last play of the game? And actually 7 of their games were within one possession. Losing that many close games is usually because of one or more things: bad quarterback play or bad coaching. The Chargers and me both agreed it was the latter, and so now we continue on with Justin Herbert, and they fired Anthony Lynn and brought on Brandon Staley. So in a very weird season, and now that the draft is over, let's look into what we should expect from the Chargers heading into the 2021 season. And before we get to Herbert, the team, and the new draft picks, I think it's worth mentioning I love the signing of Brandon Staley. Coming from the Rams and being a defensive coordinator, I hope he prioritizes the defense, because if they want any success, they need to be better on that side of the ball than they were last year. I'm not worried about the offensive side of the ball either, because Staley brought in Joe Lombardi to be the offensive coordinator for the new team coming from the Saints. Lombardi worked with Sean Payton for ages and has been with Drew Brees as his quarterback coach for 12 seasons. I think these are two amazing guys to bring in. They will come in with new, fresh ideas and make a very talented roster come together. So now let's look at the face of the team, now second-year quarterback Justin Herbert. This is a critical year for most quarterbacks in the league. Successful quarterbacks in their first season usually trend one or two ways. Either they were super successful because the defenses never really got a read on what they like to do, there wasn't enough film, or they didn't know their tendencies or weaknesses, or the quarterback takes a huge leap and uses that year of experience to become an even better quarterback and excel. We saw Mahomes and Lamar take massive leaps and win the MVP award in their second year in the NFL. And based off of Herbert's season, I think he is poised for another breakout year and take that next step, even after he broke all the rookie records for most passing touchdowns, total touchdowns, and most completions. Even though defenses have a full year of film on him, I think Herbert is still in a more advantageous spot by having a year of experience, because he only appeared to get more and more comfortable the more he played. He has elite arm talent, throwing tall in the pocket with a 6'6" frame, but he also makes a ton of throws on the run, off platform, and from a ton of angles. He also beats defenses with his mind. From the film I saw, I see a player with very high football IQ, being able to make quick decisions, trust and see his receivers in favorable matchups, deliver accurate strikes consistently for 4 quarters in a game. To me, he is Josh Allen, and he is developing even faster than Josh Allen did. And in addition to the defensive head coach and brilliant offensive mind in Joe Lombardi, they went out to help Herbert succeed with what they did in the draft. Sitting with the 13th pick, I would never expect a left tackle of Rashawn Slater's caliber to still be available. This was the easiest pick the Chargers could have ever made. He is an outstanding tackle and will instantly make the Chargers offensive line better and make Justin Herbert much happier. They absolutely stole Asante Samuel Jr. in the second round, and this will really help their secondary. I love this pick for them. It was a big time need for their defense. In the third round, they have 2 picks, and they got 2 more weapons for Herbert. Josh Palmer, the wide receiver from Tennessee, who is a big bodied guy, will be perfect lining up opposite of Keenan Allen. And they got Trey McKitty, a tight end out of Georgia. But aside from the draft, the Chargers brought in 3 additional linemen, one from Detroit, one from Pittsburgh, and Corey Lindsey from Green Bay. Not to get ahead of myself, but I think the Chargers offensive line is going to be very, very good, if not elite next year. This opens up the run game more time for Herbert, and he has some fancy new weapons to throw to as well. And I'm not going to talk about this for too long, but I do know that the Chargers are in the hunt to get Julio Jones, but so are a lot of teams. I heard they're in the top 3 favorites to land him, but I will make a whole video about that if that ends up happening. So, with this new regime, a revamped offensive line, and Justin Herbert in his second year, what should we expect from the Chargers this season? Well, right off the bat, there is no doubt in my mind that they are now the obvious second best team in the division. They finished off the 2020 season with a 4-game win streak, and I really think they started to click as how they could play together as a team. Knowing this and seeing a healthy Austin Eckler run behind a much improved offensive line, I can see the Chargers going 11-6 this season and sneaking into the playoffs with the wild card spot in the AFC. This is not going to be an easy road because there are a lot of teams in the AFC making major improvements from previous years, but at the end of the day, I trust Herbert making winning plays in close games, and I see him elevating his team to fight for the 7th best team in the AFC. And listen to me, I have them still behind the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Browns, the Titans, and the Colts. They are in the same discussion fighting for that 7th spot with teams like the Patriots, Dolphins, and the Steelers. Even though it could kind of go a bunch of ways, the Patriots could be one of the best teams in the AFC, but I'm not completely sold on the Titans this year, but that's kind of what it currently looks like to me right now. But I don't think this is the Chargers' big push for a ring is going to be this season. But if they happen to get Justin Herbert some playoff experience, that would be huge. If I know anything about free agency is I know people love to play for good quarterbacks and people love playing in LA. If they see a rising star in Herbert and see a front office that is making incredible, aggressive moves to win and they're killing it in free agency and killing it in the draft, the Chargers play in LA completely rebranded to a new trendy look. I can see the Chargers being the team to play for in the coming years. I mean, look at the Chiefs. People flock from everywhere to come play with Mahomes and Andy Reid, and they're in the middle of the country in Missouri. Imagine if the Chargers really start to take over the AFC with the Chiefs, especially if they land a guy like Julio Jones and continue to beef up their defense. I am very excited with the direction of this team. Before even playing a game this year, I already love their offseason. I love their new coaching staff, and I really think Justin is about to explode for another massive year. But let me know what you guys think. I think one of the biggest thing is Brandon Staley and Joe Lombardi, both coming from very, very well coached players, coming from Sean Payton and Sean McVay, just coming from that coaching tree, coming together to a new exciting team. It was heartbreaking to see the Chargers lose so many games by 1 or 2 points. They were just that close, and not only were they that close, but they got that much better in the offseason, where those close games won't be as close because they're going to be able to pull away a little bit. He has some new weapons. They went all out on the offensive line. The defense still is a little concerning. They still have Joey Bosa and some nice pieces, but as a whole, I would like to see them really put it together, and that's why I love a defensive-minded coach coming for this team while still having Justin Herbert in a very good offensive scheme. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like the video if you like videos like these. Make sure to comment down below what you think the Chargers' record is going to be, and if you like the direction that they're heading, or you think they made a step back in some way. And make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily sports content. But okay, I am gonna miss a day here in a little bit because I have a big project I'm working on. It might take 1 or 2, 3 days to edit just because it's gonna be a lot of fun, but stay tuned for that video. Give you a hint, it's about Tom Brady, but I'm very excited about that. But make sure to subscribe. I'm talking way too much. Thank you guys so much. If you've made it to this point, let me know in the comments because you're a legend. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.